Will Juventus continue their red-hot start to the season, or will Thiago Motta's Bologna find a way to slow that down? Welcome back, everybody. Dash here. If you do the old housekeeping thing of liking and subscribing to the video, we're going to make more content and more people get to see us because we're doing some really, really cool stuff. So, on that note, kind of recapping. So we did beat Udinese 3-0. Really awesome game, to be honest with you. More pressing, more flow, more attacking, the whole fun 9 yards. But that was Udinese, and that was last week. Now this week, we're going into quite a pretty tough Bologna side. I mean, Thiago Motta came in mid-season and really helped Bologna find their bearings, per se. The last time we played Bologna, we did have that 1-1 tie and a disaster Milik penalty kick. However, moving into this season, I think this season we're a little bit more organized than we were last season, but also you got to do credits to where it's due for Bologna. I mean, yeah, they lost to a 2-0 Milan squad, but they also did quite well against said Milan squad as well there. So, I mean, you look at the stats from Milan and Bologna, Milan actually didn't really do much. Yeah, they went up early, but Bologna with a higher expected goals to 106 to their 90 and higher possession with 53 to their 47. And then when you look at the total shots, Bologna had 17 total shots to Milan's 9. So they outshot them. Yeah, they were at home. It makes sense. As far as passing and completed passes as well, 41 to their 409. This Bologna side is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. I mean, if you look at it as well, if you watch that match, they had more distance traveled. So again, very high pressing team, very aggressive. I mean, their midfield four of Ferguson, Moro, Dominguez, and Nondie help press a lot with Zirkzee at the very top of the field. So very high pressing side. They're definitely going to come at Juventus fast and furious with that high press. However, the good news is we're playing at home. And also to add into that, we're also at a sellout crowd at the Allianz. The good thing about that is sellout crowd, and with our current lineup that I think did quite well against Udinese with Tech, with your back Brazilian three of Danilo, Bremer, and Sandro, followed up by your midfield five of Weah, Moretti, Locatelli, and Rabiot, and Cambiasso, we're going to be cooking. As well as Dusan, who looks like he's found his footing, and by reports, Allegri and Gentili agree as well that he's found his footing. And then with this one's a little bit nervous because a lot of the Liverpool rumors that have come out, but I doubt it. I don't expect Chiesa to go. But Federico Chiesa starting up in the number 10 spot to hold up the line there as well. So going into the tactical pad aspect of this is how I'm expecting us to line up. Obviously, you've got our 3-5-2 here. Bologna is going to be lining up in that. It's interesting. It's a 4-1-4-1 where it's a very unique to pressing. A lot of coaches does it. I mean, Thiago Motta is an absolute criminal when it comes to really unorthodox formations here. But you'll have your lineup essentially like this, more so, where you have the defensive pivot, and then he's putting all offensive-esque midfielders, which will hold up here, and then you have the traditional number 9 play. So normally what those guys like to do is that they like to press and essentially get in Juventus's way. So what they'll be doing is they'll be sending in a lot of their players in towards to interrupt the middle part of the field here. So their number 20 here, which is Arbisher, will be causing a lot of issues, so as a defensive enforcer in between the lines here. But you're going to expect a lot of these guys to be pressing towards Rabiot, Moretti, Weah, Chiesa, and them as well. So the idea is for Bologna's game plan is to cut off all lines of through balls that are going in through the middle of the field here. With this midfield four, that's the kind of objective here. So they're going to, essentially, it's going to be a little bit different than what you saw with Udinese. So it's going to be really crucial to see how Cambiasso, Rabiot, and in this case, we'll probably swap Chiesa and Dusan around here, how these guys are going to interchange to break this press. Because the moment that you're able to break this press in this area here, you essentially have free real estate, because these guys are going to be pushing up high. Bologna likes to push up with a high line with and without possession. So essentially all you need to do is get some combinational play here with Cambiasso and Chiesa, causing some issues there as well. And then you have Weah stretching out the edges with Moretti as well here, where you have Loca as your pivot. So Dusan and Chiesa are really going to be pushing up towards the high line, and these guys are going to be able to find, again, so when you look at it here with the pressures here, you have angles here where you can provide through balls and support through balls to your fullbacks here. So this is going to be one of those games where you're expecting a lot from Cambiasso, you're going to be expecting a lot from Weah to contribute offensively here. Weah looks like he's going to be in good condition. His ankle doesn't seem to be that bad. He was subbed out more so from a precautionary perspective, more so than him actually being injured. But if you look at how Milan essentially played against them, Milan kind of played with them with a 4-3-3. Giroud was your main pivot guy at the offensive side, so balls will be moving in towards their wingers/wingbacks. So Pulisic, Hernandez, and Leao opened up the ball and opened up the movement for Milan against Bologna. It's going to be the same thing with us. I mean, it's going to be predominant on how we can operate with that front four that front five essentially that Bologna is using. If you're able to negate that back or that front four, you're going to be cooking. It's more so how you're able to get those through balls. And from what we saw against Udinese, and Udinese is a pressing team. Yes, they had some new players. I understand that. But being able to get in behind the lines like that really gives you a good opportunity, especially with the form and how the guys have been moving, especially against Udinese. However, I think it's a good test. I think Bologna is going to press. They're going to come at you hard. Again, in their opinion, they thought they should have won against Milan, but they didn't. They got beat 2-0. Really, Milan really scored those goals really, really early on in that match, in the 11th and 21st minute. So Juve scored their first goal against Udinese in the 2nd minute and followed up again with the Dusan penalty quite quickly after. But hit Bologna fast, hit Bologna quick, hit them while they're not expecting it. That's going to be the mainstay in regards to it tactically. So if we're able to do that, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape offensively, as long as we hold that front four and don't allow them to press and find space in between. Because if you look at it again, this line here, it's a ton of space. And I think Cambiasso and Weah are going to exploit it a lot, because it's going to force your fullbacks respectively to come in and cover. That's going to be always one of the downsides to a Thiago Motta tactic. Very high press, but also if you have players that can play the ball, you can find some space. You're going to be running. So Juve's fullbacks and Cambiasso and Weah, I'm expecting them to push the Bologna fullbacks back to cover. It's going to be an interesting spectacle when you're looking at it tactical wise. All right, so that's my tactical breakdown on it. Quite quick, quite easy to digest, not anything too crazy for you. So kind of going off of some news too that I kind of teased a little bit in the formations things as well. So Chiesa being linked to Liverpool, last minute transfer if Salah leaves, but take it for a grain of salt. I'm not really too high on that. I don't believe it so well. Also, you guys asked for it. The fans protested. Lukaku officially to Juve. No way in hell. Lukaku has allegedly said himself, I am looking to going to Roma because sure, why not? Apparently Chelsea is open to loaning him out to Roma. Kind of sucks for us because that might actually help them out a lot and might blow my prediction that I did for the beginning of the season. Darn it. As well as some other last-minute transfers for us. I believe Sule and Caio Jorge are going to Frosinone. It looks like they'll be doing, I don't know the details, but it looks like they're working on getting it done at the end of the weekend. But it looks like those two will be going, hopefully, on a dry loan. I'd like to see Sule potentially play more and see if he can develop his skills before, deciding to sell him, because he's only really valued at 10 million. Same thing with Caio Jorge. I think Caio Jorge did really well against the under-23s, and I think he needs some Serie A play instead of some Serie C play. But on that note, guys, that's my thoughts on this one. We will be doing the watch along and the post call-in show. I'm going to make them in 2 separate videos because you guys asked and requested it. So we might have a happy one if we win. We might have a pissed off one if we lose. We never know. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share this to your friend. I will be working on another match day mixdown, following up these weekend matches. Guys, if there's any specific match you want me to cover on that video, make sure you comment it so I can actually physically watch it, because there's way too many matches and I only have 2 eyes and 4 screens. I can't watch them all. I'm sorry, everybody. But on that note, guys, this is Dash and I am signing off.